All right. So we trying to make it work. Trying to click, 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 click. Let's get it done. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about that and everything in between. Today we're going to be talking about the self-esteem levels of cheaters, because we've talked about people in relationships, positive and negative relationships, what we need to look for, our non-negotiable expectations for behavior, and we have covered every area except for the mentality and motivation of a cheater. And typically people say that cheaters ain't shit, and that's not always the case. And while you're coming in, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok, follow us on Twitch. And for the rest of you guys that are following us on YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscription button. If you're following us on TikTok, on the bottom right side of the screen, you see that subscription button for YouTube. You go there, you click the button, and it'll take you to YouTube where you can join our platform. And before we continue with this topic real quick, if you join our membership, then you'll be able to gain access to some of the many things that we have to offer on our platform, including discounts on merchandise and memorabilia for the podcast, which helps fund the podcast so that we can bring you better quality stuff. In addition to that, I strongly encourage you guys to take a look at hitting the subscription button on YouTube, because it lets you know 30 plus minutes in advance before the show airs that the show is going to air, which gives you the ability to then decide to come and follow us on the platform, where you'll be able to enjoy the benefits of being with us 7 days a week, because we are live 7 days a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. In addition to us being live 7 days a week, we have some affiliate items that are on a lot of our shows, and we strongly encourage you guys to check those out, because you will be able to benefit from some of the stuff that we promote on our platform. For the rest of you that are on Twitch and YouTube, we have, I see you, Red Void. I see you. I'm coming back over. We have, for the rest of you guys, to make sure that you click the link. If you want to get on the show and talk live, you want to click the link and approve the mic, approve the camera, and you will end up being able to come onto the show live if you are over the age of 18. It'll put you into our green room, and once we confirm your age status, then we move you all to the main screen. If you wish to turn your mic off, you can, and still be able to verbally communicate in real time on a live podcast, while at the same time, if you want to be seen and get your 15 minutes of fame, you can dive into the show and actually be seen. But ladies, you're going to have to make sure that you put your wig on, get your hair and makeup did, and you only got like an hour or so left on the show. If you wasn't ready for this before it got started, now's not the good time to get TV ready. You should have been TV ready when you woke up this morning. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive right on into today's topic. We were talking about those cheaters and the motivation of cheaters, because people say that cheaters are just cheaters and cheaters will never prosper, and cheaters are not worth anybody's time and effort. And Red Void, you're a firsthand experience of situations that just don't go the way you want it to go, and that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person or your partner's a bad person. It's just a lack of communication. Well, when it comes down to cheating, there's another factor in there that is a lack of communication. People believe that a cheater is motivated to cheat for the sake of cheating. Now, there are some players out there, men and women both, that like to play the field. They like to get as many as they can and hold on to as many of them as they can at the same time, and try to juggle them at the same time. And it is socially acceptable for men to have multiple partners, where it's not socially acceptable for women to have multiple partners, at least here in the United States. But do you know that a cheater actually could be motivated to cheat based on the environment of their relationship? So the self-esteem of a cheater can be negatively impacted by the lack of positive attention from their partner. Not making excuses for the cheater, just helping you understand that there are situations, because every relationship is a two-party situation. And that means that every relationship, both parties are involved in why they. Oh, you had a bad experience. So you want to talk about cheaters? Throw your bad experience in there. Uh, the fact is that we actually can play a role in the fact that we got cheated on, not just necessarily by the fact that we chose the wrong person. If you're in a type of relationship where we had somebody on the show where her boyfriend was making her jealous by parading around other women that he wasn't necessarily involved with, it was just the fact that he was using those girls to make her jealous, make his girlfriend jealous. Not the appropriate thing to do. But he's a young buck. He didn't know no better, early 20s. And the girl broke up with him. Well, throughout our conversation, she comes to understand that her boyfriend was overly affectionate and she was absent of the distribution of affection. So the issue was that he was getting her jealous so that he could get a reaction out of her because she was not expressing how she felt about him. So typically they say that if somebody loves you, they will get jealous. So if you want to know if your partner loves you, this is not the right way to go about doing it. But that's what people do, is that they'll make you jealous so that they know that you care. Because if you don't care, then you're not going to be jealous, right? Well, that mentality led to a breakup. But she recognized that because she was emotionally distant, that he was emotionally starved, and he was getting the attention that he was supposed to get from her from other women, which pissed her off and made her break up with him. Men are survivalists. Men are not going to cave in the scenario that they're in. They're going to adapt to it. And because they're going to adapt to it, in order, if I'm not happy with the woman that I'm with, I'm not going to leave her. I'm just going to get another woman to do the things that the woman that I want won't do. See how that works? Now, women are going to say that that's illogical. Well, I mean, ladies, y'all do the same thing. Y'all have a man in a friend zone. He treats you the way you want to be treated, but he's broke or not attractive. So he's just a friend. You've got the paymaster, the sugar daddy, the guy that spends money on you frivolously, asks for nothing in return. You just show up. You have the other guy that, you know, moderately to severely attractive that you have the affair with. And that's just juggling three. Then you might actually have a boyfriend that you live with that might be the parent to your child. And that's a fourth guy. And this is what women do. They have a backup plan. It's been statistically proven that women have a fallback plan, is what they call it now. So you have your main man, and then you have the other men as alternative options if the main man falls off. So it's across the board unilaterally, the fact that if you recognize that being having an emotional attachment to somebody at your job is emotional cheating, equivalent to a man having an affair with a woman, then you understand that women cheat probably significantly more than men because they have more accessibility to it, but men are more frowned upon about their cheating. So let's go ahead and see what Red Void had to say today. He said, when I was in the 7th grade, this was a long time ago, loved 2 girls. The thing is, I love one of them because she had a great personality, and I love the other one because she had a great body. Exactly. I wasn't even reading that, and this is common behavior. So choose the one with the great personality, but I cheated on her with the one with the great body, of course. And by that moment, I swear on my life, I would not cheat anymore until I pass away. I still remember that girl who was crying in front of me because I cheated on her. Yeah. Cheaters have regret. Cheaters do regret when they make that conscious choice to cheat on their spouse. But you have to understand. So first of all, you cannot be in love with both of them at the same time. You had an attraction to both of them that was perceived as love, and you also have to understand that at the same time, while one had the attitude that you wanted, she wasn't as attractive as you would have hoped. And the other one that had the attraction that you wanted didn't have the attitude that you would have hoped. So where one woman fell short, the other woman picked up the slack, and that's why you had two women. Now, nobody encourages cheating, but when you think about the fact that this is one of the reasons why men have 7 wives, is because, I mean, at least one of them will give you what you're looking for 100% of the time, even if you have to alternate them out. Today's Sunday, is your day, number 7. So, you gotta and you can little nickname them that. It's Sunday, so Sunday you come here. But the fact of the matter is that if the one with the good personality would have had the body that you wanted, you would have stuck with the one woman. If the woman with the body that you wanted had the personality that you wanted, you would have stuck with one woman, because the woman that you wanted did not have the body that you wanted, but the woman that had the body that you wanted did not have the personality that you wanted. You had them, you kept them both for as long as possible. But after you sampled the body, you went back to the one that you wanted for the personality, and you regretted that because you broke her heart and you didn't want to break her heart, and breaking her heart broke your heart. Now it's a domino effect. So now you make it a point to not cheat. But how do you keep yourself from cheating again in the future? First thing you do is get what you want. Men settle for less, and because and part of this is going to be to blame with the hypergamy theory, because men are not able to get women that are on his level. Men have to get women that are beneath him, and women are not going to agree to that. But you have to think about the truth of the matter, that women date up. So in adverts, men must date down. You can't have a woman, majority of women date up, which means that when she meets a man and she starts dating that man, her standard of living improves. Whether it is the resources, accessibility to whatever, her network, her lifestyle improves because she's with that man, which means she elevated herself to his level by dating him. Now, the alternative on that is she's never on his level. He's not able to date a girl on his level, because what happens to the guys that date a girl that is on his level? She puts him in the friend zone and dates somebody above him. So this means that while she's dating up, he's forced to date down. So the woman that's on his level is not the woman that he gets. The woman that's beneath him is the woman that he gets. The man that's on her level is not the man that she aims for. The man that's above her level is the man that she gets. So we as men have to set up our non-negotiable expectations for behavior. And while we're trying to set up those non-negotiable expectations for behavior, we have to get what we want. If we get what we want, we're less likely to cheat frivolously. But that does not change the fact that men still have this common goal of procreation, which means that when you recognize how women can only have one child per calendar year, whereas a man can produce 209 children in a 130-year lifespan, where he's dropping 5 or 7 kids to be, in order for a man to be like, say, Nick Cannon, who had 5 children in 1 year, he has to be sleeping with 5 women at one time. In order for you to have a baby born every month, you would have to be sleeping with 12 women in the same calendar year, because no one woman can give birth 12 times in a year. They can only give birth once every 9 to 10 months, 11 months, depending on how long their pregnancy is. And then they have a 6-week to 3-month recovery phase after the pregnancy before they are encouraged to attempt a pregnancy again. So they're still limited to the fact that 1 kid per year on average is what a woman is going to have. But a man can have as many children as he can sleep with women. Well, limited to his blood type, because if you have a B negative blood type, you're less likely to have positive results with A positive and A negative and stuff like that. So you have the blood type differentials that cause complications for pregnancies and miscarriages. But beyond natural selection, you can drop as many children as you can swing your junk around. So outside of frivolous, pointless cheating, the procreation is still going to be there. So we're not going to have saints, but the men would be more dedicated and more loyal to the women that they have. So Red Void said, now I hate this cheating, this especially if it happens to married couples. Well, the cheating is going to happen in married couples, not because of, I can imagine a lot of men want more from a woman than they can get. Well, men are going to want more variety, and that's where the cheating in the relationships, the cheating in the marriage is going to come from. Sleeping with the same person on a regular basis for 20 years is typically 3 to 5 years you get tired of it. Typically 2 to 3 months, 6 months, you get tired of it. You start having to get creative in the bedroom. You got to start spicing up the relationship. That's because you're bored. You guys can only have sex a certain way so many times. And then you also have this built up animosity towards one another because there's a lack of communication in those relationships. So you're not readily able to sleep with the person that you're pissed off at. And the more often you're pissed off at them, the less often you're having sex with them. And the less often you're having sex with them, the less attracted you are to them, because you no longer have these urges to have sex with them. Even if you have urges for sex, you just don't have it with them, which means that you're going to end up satisfying those urges with someone that doesn't piss you off on a regular basis. So, and that goes for both men and women. Likewise, men will find, and you have two types of cheating. So let's just remember, it's not just sex. There is emotional cheating, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we get to the emotional cheating, let's talk about the physical cheating. The physical cheating is an issue in and of itself, because the physical cheating is going to be done by people whose love language is physical touch, where if they're not receiving as much physical connection with their partner, they will subsidize that with physical connection with other partners. So that is going to invoke cheating. In your relationship, in your marriage, you get comfortable with your partner. And then sometimes your partner might just be okay with hovering in your presence and might find that sex is work and not actually expressing passions. In that situation, you have one person that is more sexually driven than the other one. And because of that, you're going to end up with the person with the higher sex drive potentially cheating on the person with the lower sex drive, if that person does not have moderation and patience. Now, we have the other issue that some women are manipulative and controlling. And I know women don't want to hear that, but you control your body as a woman. You limit the man's accessibility to sex because you don't feel like it, because you're mad at him, because it's your period. All of these other reasons why you tell a man that he cannot have sex with you, but he also cannot have sex with anyone else. And when you're not feeling like having sex with him, you do not make up for it by having extra sex with him when you're no longer in that slump. So you are going to deprive your man of his sexual desires and then force him to train himself to not have sexual desires that he's going to act impulsively on, and then only have sex with you when you say so. That is not okay, because then you're going to limit his sexual desires, or you're going to limit entertaining his sexual desires, and he's going to end up having to entertain those sexual desires somewhere else, whether it be through porn, OnlyFans, or hooking up with another chick somewhere else, because you won't do it. Now, you're going to say that that guy's a dirtbag because he cheated on you, but if he's the kind of guy that has a five times a week drive and you're giving it to him once every 2 months, that's not even 1%. There's 30 days in a month. He should have knocked you back. If he's 5 times a week, he should have knocked you back. See what I'm saying? So many times. And you've only given it to once in 2 months, once in 60 days. If he's a 3 times a week kind of guy, and he's only getting it once every 6 months, and you're You cannot say that the cheaters are cheaters just because they're cheaters. There's some motivation there. So let's catch up with some of these comments. We have a lot of men want more because a lot of them grow up very late. Well, all men grow up late. Their sex drive starts to flourish at like 14, 15 years old, and they don't know what to do with themselves until they get to about 18, and then they start just trying to screw everything with the pulse, and then they actually don't really mature until about 26, 27 years old, but their sex drive peaks at 21 and starts going on a decline at 30. So they stop having such a high sex drive and start focusing on stuff that makes more sense as they get older, between 30 and 40 years old. And then when they're in their 40s and 50s, sex doesn't matter anymore because they probably got enough of it if they were reasonably able to participate in a dating game. And then they've had enough screw ups in their relationships because their engagements were driven by lust. And they've learned from a lot of their mistakes. And now they're able to make better choices in finding a partner and maintaining an appropriate relationship. But like you say, yeah, they grow up very, very late. But they're going to want more partners so that they can get over the bullshit from the main partner that is not providing them with the needs that they have. So we also have a real man want more than sex and a hot girlfriend. You are right. A real man is going to want more than just sex. But the fact is that men are physical and women are emotional. So while the man might want the emotional connection, the man might want the time, the man might want the task-based efforts that the woman is going to provide to him, that if she's providing it to him, the man is still going to want that physical connection, and he's still going to want to express his love and affection through physical touch, be it holding her hand, hugging her, laying on her, having sex with her. He's going to want to express his affections to her. And the stronger his feelings for her, the more his desire to express his feelings physically to her. And women are not really into that. They just want to read a Harry Potter novel. I'm not trying to sit in the same room with you and read a Harry Potter novel. I'm trying to Netflix and chill. I'm trying to knock it back a few times. I'm trying to, touch your tonsils. I'm trying to, we're trying to get creative here. Some people ask that question, what that back door do? I mean, we trying to get creative here. We're not sitting over here trying to just read stories like reading Rainbow. This makes no sense. But that's the women are okay with just hovering in your presence. Let's play cards. Let's play poker. Let's play Uno. Let's play Uno Chaos. Let's just. And guys are like, when are you gonna sit in my lap and bounce up and down a few times? Because that's our mindset. We have a lustful mindset. So Red Voice says, right now I want a healthy relationship and a healthy family, not only sex and being human parts. You got to understand, bro, your healthy relationship is going to come from having a healthy emotional and physical connection with your partner. So in order to get that, you and your partner both have to put extra effort into finding balance between your physical connection with one another and your emotional connection with one another. So while in every relationship, the drive of the two people are never going to be on the same level all of the time. If you guys are hot and heavy in the beginning, one of you is going to fizzle out faster than the other one. You guys are going to get content with one another, and then the drives are going to be different. And then motivations are going to manipulate your drive. So not only do you have, if you have health issues, medication will negatively impact your sex drive. You have poor eating habits, which will negatively impact your sex drive. You have anger management that will negatively impact your sex drive. But dedication to your goals, you're putting an extra effort to get this task done. You're trying to make this high grade. You're trying to impress your boss. You're trying to get this promotion. Your dedication to that goal, you put all of your energy into the success of your goals, and then you do not have the energy to perform sexually. So that's going to negatively impact your ability to satisfy your partner as well. Now, in a healthy, fulfilling relationship, your partner, both partners, especially women, are going to need that emotional fulfillment. Men need that emotional fulfillment probably more than women need that emotional fulfillment, because men do not ever receive emotional fulfillment. We are emotionless tools, and that's how we're treated in our society. And we're expected to just work and come back to the house and go to sleep and take care of the woman and deal with all the problems and get shot at and beat up. And, if we got to fight people and cuss and cause riots and, protests and, all these extra extreme behaviors that we got to basically function like a soldier from our household in representation of our girlfriend, who also in a lot of relationships will fight us verbally and physically, so that we don't even have the capabilities to have the energy to fight for the relationship in the general public. So we don't actually have the ability a lot of the times to engage in those sexual activities. Now, that's going to leave, whether it's male or female, if you're not being expressed the feeling of love, you're not being told, you're not seeing the signs. And we went over this on the show a few times ago. Those areas where telling somebody I love you, calling them and telling them that you love them, sending them a text message, letting them know that you're thinking about them, send them photos of things that when you were in the area of thinking about them. What did you see when you thought about them? Send them a picture of that. You ain't got to buy them a bunch of stuff. Send them a picture of that. These are ways that you show them that you care. Showing up unexpected is a way that you show them that you care, but that's also a way to be perceived as a stalker. But if you knew where they were and you ordered some Uber Eats and delivered it to their location where their favorite meal was being dropped off at their current location so that they can have something to eat and not be hungry, they know that you care without you having to drop in on them, without you having to invade their personal space, and still be able to let them know that you're thinking about them, making sure that they have what they need. Even if you're in a relationship where y'all are arguing, y'all aren't talking right now, but you know that she needs something, you go get it for her, you bring it to her. You know that she wants something, you go to the store, you pick it up, you bring it back to her for so that she can have it. You know that something is about to happen that is going to positively or negatively impact her. You prepare yourself for that situation. So even if y'all can't look each other in the same face, you're still able to hold an umbrella over her head so that she doesn't get wet. Even if you guys aren't having a communication with one another, you're still going to reach and get stuff off the top shelf for her so that she doesn't have to climb on a counter and fall and hurt herself. This is what happens in marriages. You still show her that you care. You still show her that you love her. You still show her that she matters to you, even if you can't stand her right now. And in a marriage, I'm going to be honest with you, that feeling that you can't stand her is going to be a lot longer of a feeling, a lot more dominant of an experience. And truthfully, you're going to realize in your 15, 20-year marriage, you're going to realize how much you love your wife because of how much you hate your wife, but you just don't want to leave. Like that is going to be your notation. You're not, we done been through too much. I don't care if she's Peggy Bundy. We done been through too much. She get on my goddamn nerves, but I love her. I love her anyway. That feeling, like she could get hit by a truck tomorrow and I'll go play some video games and collect the health insurance. But I would be sad if she got hurt kind of feeling. That is the feeling that you have 10, 15, 20 years into a marriage. So it is one of those things where, welcome back, Blank. We got y'all jumping back in on TikTok. These are the things that you just can't avoid. Feelings of resentment towards when they piss you off. You guys don't agree with one another. But another issue, another area of cheating that actually is manifested from the environment. I'm going to get into the next one in a second because I just thought of one. But I'm going to get on this emotional thing real quick. If you spend too much time at work and you don't take the time out of work to go back to your house and show your significant other that he or she is important, that lack of recognition can manifest into an absent feeling of appreciation or value. That can compromise and damage the self-esteem of your partner. Emotional rejection, when your partner comes and tries to give you a hug or tries to give you a kiss and you block them. You're moving your head, you put your hand out and don't let them touch you. These levels of emotional rejection will give your partner a negative self-esteem, and that person will then explore other options in order to see if it's something wrong with them or if it's something wrong with you. It is what it is. Some people want to know if they still got it. If you never compliment them, but you can always point out their flaws, they're going to feel like you think they're a fuck up all the time. If you never compliment them and you can only point out their flaws, they're going to feel like they're imperfect. They're going to feel like they're a failure. They're going to feel like they're not appropriate or attractive enough. Then they're going to be in general population. Somebody else is going to come and start giving them praise where they was once only getting negative responses. Now they're starting to get positive responses. They're going to explore those positive responses until those positive responses lead to an affair. These are the things that happen, which is why I tell people that are in relationships, for every one negative thing you say to your partner, find 5 to 25 positive things to say to your partner every time. Otherwise, don't say shit and fix the problem yourself. Because if you only go over there and bitch all the time, they're going to feel like you are not satisfied with them. And eventually, they're going to gain a connection with somebody else who is satisfied with them, where they don't have to change and they don't have to apply themselves. And then especially if you made the mistake to get involved with somebody who is not interested in applying themselves in bettering themselves, you're going to have to deal with the fact that they settled on plateauing before they got with you. You want to better yourself. You want to improve everything so that you have room for the kids, and they're not interested in the kids. They don't, if you have them, they have them, but they're not really interested in the kids. So now this is like a solo mission where you're carrying the team with you, but you're the only one doing the work. It's not going to work out for you, bro. So in those situations, you get frustrated. You get extremely frustrated. Then you start lashing out on your partner. Your partner's going to get insulted because they felt like they did nothing wrong because you knew they didn't give a shit about your expectations. But you love them anyway because they got a nice body, right? Now, this is going to lead you into either caving and not entertaining your desires, which is going to ultimately make you miserable. Or you're going to fight them until they give you what you want, which will make them resent you. This is where some marriages also get divorced. Now, the alternative is that y'all separate. But there yet again is another divorce. So, what I told you at the top of the hour, first find what you want with these non-negotiable expectations for behavior. And if you did that, then you would less likely have a reason to cheat outside of the fact that you just want 3, 4, 5 baby mamas. Now, women have no reason to cheat, but women are going to cheat. Some women are going to cheat because the man that they have doesn't have enough money for them. Some women are going to cheat because the man that's working 3 jobs doesn't have enough time for them. Some women are going to cheat because the man does not express enough feelings, and she's going to get those feelings from social media. That's emotional cheating. She's going to get those feelings from her work husband. That's emotional cheating. She's going to get the reciprocation that she needs for her feelings from her male best friend. Also emotional cheating. So all of this stuff stems back to the fact that even if you are disappointed or frustrated or mad at your spouse, you have to go back over there and let them know that they are important to you, that they matter to you, that, you know, even if you are frustrated at them, and in some situations has nothing to do with them, you just pissed off because today was a shitty day and now you just didn't get over it before you walked in the house. Like, you have to deal with trying not to misdirected express rage towards your partner. Now, another key factor that I thought was very interesting, and that's the one I said I was going to touch on later. When you have cheating based off of the fact that you have been falsely accused of cheating, when there's a lack of trust in a relationship already, women do this a lot where they're hiring private investigators to spy on their boyfriends and husbands. Ma'am, once you stop trusting him, you should get out of the relationship. Again, we have a scenario where if the woman is not treating the man the way he wants to be treated, he's going to get treated better by a another woman. Now, you as the woman, instead of you communicating with your man, finding out what he's bitching about all the time, and then you fixing it and then trying to do better about it, instead of that, you will double back and decide that, he's going to accept you how you are and he doesn't have to like it. There is no or else. He just doesn't have to like it. Now, he's going to find his fulfillment. We've had that on the show quite a few times where a man caught his girlfriend cheating on him with a man online. They were having like love conversations online. He divorced her. There was another man who was on the show a few weeks ago who had a problem with his girlfriend. He started dating his coworker. He had a whole second relationship. These people have been married over 10 years. He had a 7-year girlfriend. Then he dumped his girlfriend for his wife before the wife found out about it. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that he ain't shit, but I asked her, ma'am, was your marriage better during them 7.5 years that you spent smashing the other woman? Because if your marriage was better, then that's what you need to do. You need to go find out who that girl was and bring her home. And if she has a sister, bring her to Variety. It is what it is. You're not going to agree with that. You're going to say the monogamous platform is the best way to go. But monogamy is a construct that has been designed for women. Monogamy is not a construct that was designed for men. Men are going to chase lustful activities where sex is the prize. But as men mature and men recognize their value is increasing. They realize that they're a walking stock option. Their value is increasing. And while their value is increasing, the women whose value is decreasing are charging the men for their time, charging the men for their attention. And that's making the dating game transactional to the magnitude where now you're renting a girlfriend. The same way you lease a car. It ain't yours, but because you're paying for it, you get to use it whenever you want to till the lease runs out. And when the lease runs out, it becomes somebody else's girlfriend. That's pretty much how life is right now with transactional relationships. If you run out of money, she goes back into the dating pool. She gets repossessed and goes back into the dating pool, and then she gets leased by somebody else. The new saying that's been coming out these days is she's not yours, you're just the next one. Like, I don't understand where that motto comes from, but they're implying that you don't get to keep her. She's just yours for the moment. She's just here for the moment. She'll be on to the next one. This is a problem in relationships that we do not pay a lot of attention to, that we do not put any emphasis into changing. But if we understand as men that if we wasn't chasing lust, what would we be chasing? Because we wouldn't have, beyond lust, beyond the conquer criteria. Why do you believe that any of us, including you, Red Boy, why do you believe that any of us ever allowed ourselves to get into a relationship that we knew was not going to end well, but we tried to make it work anyway? Why else would we do it? It wasn't love. It was lust. We want a consistent sex partner with that body or those skills. And we tried our best to keep it. I tell people the harder you have to try to get into the relationship, the harder you're going to have to try to keep the relationship, and the even increased quantity of effort that needs to go into trying not to lose that partner. So we'll put effort into the chase so that we can get it, so that we can add a notch to our belt. But when we're looking for long-term companionship, wife material, we're not looking. Our mentality is skewed because we have the taste of attractive loose women and the desire and expectations of conservative, respectable women, modest women. So the kind of girl that you're willing to date, the kind of girl that you're willing to meet at the club, the kind of girl that you're willing to have recreational sex with, is not the kind of girl that you would marry or date to marry. In fact, as men, we date girls that we are physically attracted to because of how they carried themselves, which was overly exposing. We turn that into a relationship, and then in that relationship, we tell her you shouldn't dress like that. It's a double standard. I'm all for that double standard that you should not dress like that if you're not single. But I also come from the expectation of is that you can't say that men that are of a certain caliber are attracted to a woman that dresses the way she dresses, and she should avoid those men because she was dressing that way and that's how she got you. So, but the fact is that if you don't want her to be abducted and found missing in the back of a car with no clothes on, she probably should dress more appropriately. So I tell women to carry yourselves with me the way you want to be perceived in public. And as you've seen, Red Void, I pretty much have on a different suit every day of the week. So can you imagine if I'm wearing 3-piece suits with a cane walking down the street with a female, if she is really short shorts with the pockets hanging out of the bottom and a halter top, I promise you somebody's going to come up and ask me how much. And I'm going to tell you, I've told women plenty of times, if you standing there with your friend dressed like that, I'm going to tell that guy, buy one, get one half off. I get my commission up front. And if it's a holiday, I might even do a buy one, get one free special. You can have both of them. They dressing like them. They dressing like 304s. You can have both of these. I don't need one of them. But Red Void, I got a question for you. Because I was talking to Mr. Pibbs on the show that a while back. We had an epiphany. Now, I know this doesn't apply to you because you're already in a committed relationship. But as a man with a mentality, I have to ask you this question. So here we go. Mr. Pibbs thought that it'd be a good idea to turn a sex worker into a wife. What's your perspective on that? We're talking about call girls. We're talking about strippers. We're talking about exotic dancers. We're talking about that girl that takes her clothes off for money in the club. Making that a wife. I'll give you time to type a response. I had to give him this lecture about making better choices when he made that statement. I actually, since you're on the show now, you've actually seen it, the podcast. If you go to the live podcast, I actually made shorts out of that show. So you can't even miss the shorts that I made out of that show. And it is hilarious. One specific one that is hilarious because I think you were here when he came to the show. About a situation that went south. And I'm not going to go into detail about it because you got to watch the video. But I am going to tell you that I made a short. It was a throwback of the first time we had this same conversation. And then what just happened? What was it? We had the Xander settles the veil of denial, the downside of men settling for quantity over quality, or adult workers' wife material. I think this is the one. This is the one. So I'm gonna do this for you, Red. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna grab this link. I'm gonna throw it in the comment section, right? And anybody who wants to take a look at this link after the show, you just copy and paste it, throw it into YouTube, copy and paste it, throw it into your Google or your Yahoo word search. Take a look at that video when you get a chance, and you're gonna roll, you're gonna steamroll laughing at the sequence of events, because there was a point in time where this man thought that, yep, strippers have good choices. Strippers have good jobs. They're respectable jobs. And then he was in a situation where he's been talking to this chick since that show came out in December. That's why I'm laughing about it, because I started the podcast about it, this type of topic, last year. Co-hosted it. And then that Saturday, when he dove into the show and interrupted our conversation about arguments and anger management and stuff to that effect, that Saturday when he came into the show, that same person was the one he was talking about from the previous show. I was like, what? See? Now, and the issue that he had was that he needed her to do him a favor. He's been looking out for her for a while. He needed her to do him a favor. She said that she would, and then after she said that she would, she didn't. She didn't. She left him undone for 2 days. And I'm sitting over here looking at him like, bro, like, I told you so. I told you so is what I said. That you cannot put yourself in a relationship. And I'm going to say that again because it looks like we're glitching up a little bit. You cannot put yourself in a relationship with a person that does not put you first. And even though you put them before you, they're supposed to put you before them. So all of their decision making is supposed to have you in the forefront of their mind. And all of your decision making skills is supposed to have them at the forefront of your mind, which is the reason why you can look at something and be like, oh, this reminded me of you. This, whatever this is, reminded me of you. And I took a picture and sent it to you. You ain't got to spend thousands of dollars to be I was standing at the register and I saw this Hallmark card and I thought, oh, you might like it. Snap, 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 send it. Because it's the thought that counts. The fact that I was thinking about you while you wasn't there. But those types of gestures, they go a long way because not only do you get a chance to express your affection to your partner while not being present with your partner also gets to feel that expression. So you're not just thinking about them. You're not just talking about them with your friends and your family on the phone or while you're hanging out with the bros. You're actually letting them know while y'all are together that they're important to you, that they're still important to you. Because you could have been important in the past and are no longer relevant in the present. And that is where treating is going to come in. You have other ways because you have the emotional starvation, the lack of attention, the lack of sex drive, the lack of desire, arguments, but you have that do I still got it? Ego boost. My partner's not boosting my ego. I still got it because I was picking up A game women back in the day. So do I still got it? Can I get out there and pull me a high class or moderately value woman? Can I pull me a 7, an 8, a 9, or am I limited to just 4s? This type of mentality is going to be the type of mentality that's going to make you try, even if you don't follow through. Going out, hanging out, getting the phone number, just getting the phone number. You mentally contemplated cheating on your partner by acquiring her phone number, another woman's phone number. That is not engaging you to aid your girlfriend. She's interested in an engagement with you. That mental level of cheating on your partner. We do this stuff all the time, men and women alike. We just disregard it in our social groups. You go to work, there's a coworker, mildly attractive. You have no problem with having an affair with her. You just choose not to. She wants to exchange contact information with you. No. I don't give a fuck if it's for the job. Sweetheart, you call the boss, have the boss call me. That's how that works. I should have more distance between me and the person that I want to smash than I have between me and the person that I want to end. You understand? So you're supposed to keep your enemies closer than you keep the people that you want to turn inside out. That it is what it is. Like you're not gonna get that in another fashion. You just literally have to keep, as much as your worst enemy is over there on that side of the room, the woman that you want to have an affair with has to be behind that person. Because otherwise, temptation is the biggest key in cheating. Temptation will get to you. This is why I tell men, I tell women, I say that as a couple, You are not supposed to go to a singles place. You are no longer single. Single places are places for single people to mingle. You who are not single are supposed to go places where couples and families go, because you are no longer single. You are part of a pack. You are part of a group. You are part of your own social game, and you are not supposed to be interacting as a solo player. You do not join a guild and then just start griefing people on solo mode. It doesn't happen. You join a party, you go where the fucking party goes. You join a group, you go where the group goes. You get into a relationship, you only go places that your partner goes. Which is why I say non-negotiable expectations for behavior. You're not supposed to have your girlfriend dressing like she's single, overly attractive, short skirts, short, tight tops, hair all down and stuff, like she's just ready to walk the strip. Heels on. She don't even wear heels for you, but she wearing heels to go out to hang out with the girls. What she's doing is she's projecting herself to society to get hit on by other guys that she may very well not be interested in dating, just to know that she's got it. Just to know that she still got it. The woman wants to know if she's attractive. She puts on an attractive outfit. She puts on an overly attractive outfit. And then she goes out and tries to see how many guys will hit on her today. Now, when a girl comes back, no matter how slutty her outfit was, if she comes back with nobody trying to pick her up that day, she starts wondering what's wrong with the men. She never starts contemplating what's wrong with her, that the men are not approaching her. What's wrong with the men? The men are insecure because they did not flirt with her. They did not try to pick her up. They did not try to get her contact information. But if they do flirt with her, if they do try to pick her up, if they do try to get her contact information, she gets the entertainment of rejecting them. And she gets the validation that she is still wanted by other men, that she's not dated. Now, the problem with that particular type of behavior, because she is getting self-validation, she may accidentally come across the person that she's attracted to. Not somebody she was looking for, somebody that just is her type of person to engage. I just wanted you guys to understand that the person that's your type is not the person that's good for you. You like this type of person. You might like the bad boy. You might like the rebel. You might like the adventurous type. But you might be a stay-at-home person. You might not be a rebel. You might follow the rules all the time. And, you might be a stickler for consistency. You're not even into adventure. You sit in the same seat at the same table in the same subway in the same city when you go have lunch at 6:00 every day of the week. You just wanted that one little hint of change, just like so you just wanted that one seat of change just to see what it felt like, and then you're going to migrate back to your normal consistency. That's how cheating works. You got everything a certain way, then you decide that you want to try something different. She's out there dressed up like God knows what. Guy comes up, flirts with her, new experience. That new experience turns into an affair, and she's going to blame it on the alcohol. It wasn't alcohol, it was lust. I'm not even going to say that she's a bad person. I'm just going to say that it wasn't alcohol, it was lust. That temptation was there. Could you avoid that? No, you didn't go. But if you would have went, you would be mad at her and the guys that are hitting on her, because there are places, at least here in America, if not in other portions of the world, where the man don't care if the boyfriend is standing right there. If he wants to smash, he's going to invite himself to try. And it's her responsibility to redirect him to you so that you can redirect your foot in his ass. But until that happens, if this dude starts communicating with your girl while you're standing there, even if your back was turned, whatever, and she's entertaining that conversation, she just disrespected you in its entirety, because she's saying that her boyfriend, her fiance, her husband is not relevant in her conversation with this man that's trying to get into her pants. This is where cheating comes from. Now, one of the final things that I want to talk about cheating, and I'm going to take a little bit of time talking about this one. Accusations. bro, if you're going to keep pointing out that I'm a cheater, I haven't cheated yet. You're going to keep trying to make me feel bad about being accused of being unfaithful and unloyal and deceptive. And I'm going to start being unfaithful and unloyal and deceptive and see if you catch it. See if you catch on to it. I'm going to find ways to not get caught so that I can see how well you pay attention to the shit around you. Because when I told you I wasn't cheating and you didn't believe me, if I'm cheating now and you accuse me of it, I'm just going to nod my head like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because I mean, I'm already doing the time. You treat me like shit because you're accusing me of being a cheater. But I haven't cheated on you. I'm going to tell you right now, every relationship, male or female, don't use their GPS location as a way for you to start a fight. If they said they was going to be somewhere and their ass ain't there, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because you GPS in their ass. When they call you and tell you that the shit hit the fan, you can rub it in their face that you had to come say they monkey ass. But if you know that, and I had this happen before, I'm going to tell you, I was dating this chick, bad choice. But I thought at that time I could make it work. Bad choice. But I started dating this chick. Wasn't a very long time. I had some work to do. And when I say it wasn't a very long time, this was like the whole span of that engagement lasted about 6 months. But this area in which we're talking about is about 3-4 weeks in. And she wanted to use my car. Well, I had something to do while she was with me, and she didn't want to stay there. She wanted to use my car while I was taking care of work. I was actually teaching somebody's child, and she didn't want to sit there for that. That's fine. Go ahead. I'm going up the street to the mall. Okay. I gave her 10 minutes. Check my phone. She's at the casino in another city. Red flag. I knew it was going to take her 30 minutes to get back. So gave her a 45-minute head start. I said, hey, I'm going to be finishing up pretty soon. How long is it going to take for you to get back? Oh, yeah, I'm on my way. Okay. Gas station across the street from the casino. 30-minute drive. She shows up. Hey, I'm outside. Oh, okay. Pretended like it wasn't a thing. I didn't know you were going to get here so fast. Man, the mall must have closed early. Blah, 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 blah. Knowing damn well she never seen the inside of the mall. We come talking about it. It's all red flags because you lying to me. You're misappropriating my shit. I can't trust you. But I ignored these red flags. That's why I told you that relationship didn't last. If I would have been paying attention to those red flags, she wouldn't have made it past that day. Look at this. So the problem that we had in that scenario, she wouldn't have last past the first day. When she took the car, she came back and she was in a different area. And she told me, she's like, oh, I know you're going to be mad at me. You didn't tell me the truth. I'm supposed to be mad at you. But it's more my fault than it is your fault because I picked the kind of woman that I will allow to take my car and go somewhere that I did not say it was okay to go to. So now I got to make better choices. Clearly, I test people. I test people a lot. I test people probably more than they know. I put them in situations to see if they will come through. And then when they fuck me over, yeah, I got to deal with the negative fallback that they fucked me over. But I tested them when I did not have much to lose so that if they failed me in that, I would not have them around me when I have a lot to lose. Because there's been some times where I've had a lot to lose. I'm talking about like 15,000 a week, a lot to lose. And if I would have had that person around me when I had that type of money coming in, I would have lost a lot more than just quarter tank of gas out of the car. But the funny thing was that she thought she was slick because she put gas in the car to supersede the quantity of gas that she burned out of the car. What she failed to understand was that the mileage changed. What she does not understand is that I always check my mileage. I checked my mileage because I'm putting over 100 miles a day on my car, and I wanted to make sure that my car was available for the upcoming oil change. So she put 50 extra miles on my car. The mall is 5 miles away. You replace the gas in the car. And even though you replace the gas in the car, there are 50 extra miles on my car, and the mall is 5 minutes away. So unless you were doing laps around the mall trying to find a place to park, where the fuck did you go? You know, this is the type of stuff that builds distrust. Now, I talk about this because I had a GPS on my car because it's my car. I didn't have a GPS on my car because I didn't trust her. I had a GPS on my car because I want to know where my car is at all times. If you tow my car, I'm coming to where my car is, and I'm going to liberate my car the way Neil Eason liberated his daughter and Taken 2. When he went to Paris, all those explosions. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. I'm liberating my car. It's not going to end well. So I track that shit. I'm going to figure out where that shit's at. I got more than one vehicle. So if you take one, I'm going to wait till it stops moving, and then I'm going to run up on you, and it's going down. It's not going to be like Repo Man. I know you guys seen Repo Man where they're like, oh, say something, do something, say something, do something. Nah, bro. Okay, my vehicle, I got something. I got something for you. So we're not going to have a long-winded discussion. If you did something, you got my vehicle, we got you. So I had the GPS tracker on my vehicle just to know where my car was, and I just so happened to find out that the girl that was driving my car was not where she said she was supposed to be. I didn't bring it up. I pretend like it didn't happen, but it let me know that I can't trust her. Now, had I acted on that red flag when I brought her back to where she came from, instead of me continuing trying to make something out of something that wasn't going to amount to nothing, had I dropped her off and left her there, and then when she said, well, why aren't you talking to me anymore? I explained to her that you took my car somewhere you wasn't supposed to take it. You lied to me about it. You could have just told me the truth. I would have let you go anyway. And because I can't trust you, I can't stay involved with you. And in the relationship right there. That is way different than what women do these days. They will stalk your car. They will go through your cell phone. So, fellas, note to self. Don't just turn off your GPS tracking history. Delete it. Delete it. Go into your Google Maps on both your iPhone and your Android. Go to your history. Delete your history. Don't save your history. And then turn off your location. If you don't want her to go through the history of where your phone has been so that she can accuse you of doing something that you're not supposed to do. Why? Why is this? Because, sir, if you park your phone next to a hotel, you could be at the Taco Bell next door to the hotel. The GPS signal will shift by 33 feet, and now your signal is in that Motel 6 complex. You've been there for an hour hanging out with the fellas, having burgers and fries and laughing up a storm, and she's swearing up and down that you're having an affair in the hotel next door. You could be at an impound lot going to pick up your car, but the impound lot is in the parking lot of a strip club. Strip club ain't even open. But because you're in the parking lot of a strip club, that's where your GPS signal is, she's swearing up and down that you're having an affair with the girls at the strip club. If you told your girlfriend that you had somewhere that you were supposed to go, and then your friend calls you up and tell you that he's got an emergency, he needs you to take him somewhere, then you take your friend to where he needs to go. Now you're somewhere other than where you told your girl that you was going, and you just did not feel like it was a serious enough situation to call her and update her that you relocated. Now she sees that you're in a different location than what you told her you were going to be in. All of these scenarios leads to, once she gets that data out of the phone, whether it's that day or next month, she's going to accuse you of being a liar and a cheater. You're not going to know where it came from. She's going to be talking to you like crap. She's going to be mistreating you for days. not knowing why, and she's not going to tell you why, because you should know why, because you did it. You didn't do shit, but she thinks you did. GPS signals get your ass in some trouble. So if you date somebody, y'all not in the same spot at the same time, if you're not deliberately sending her your signal so that she knows where you're at and what you're doing, turn your phone off and ghost all data of wherever your devices have been. Eliminate all GPS location on all of your email accounts. Eliminate all GPS locations on your navigation system on your car. Just ghost. She can't trust you, bro. You got to replace it. So in that scenario, you also are going to end up with infidelity, and you're going to also end up with cheating in that scenario too. And reason why is because there are some people that are vindictive. If they feel like you're cheating on them, they'll start cheating on you. You're not cheating. You're just taking care of business that you're not telling them about. That's the problem. They're not in the loop, which you can fix that problem by keeping them in the loop. But if you felt like this is for me, and I will tell you about it when it becomes something that is for us, in those situations, that secret that you keep from them could lead them to cheating on you. Now, that's not your fault, but you can circumvent that issue. The reason why I'm telling you that is because in 2024, 60-70% of relationships, they download this Track Your Partner app. There's an app for that where you voluntarily link your GPS signal to your partner's GPS signal, so you know where they at 24/7. That causes two problems. While it's designed to help you protect your family members and the people that you love, where if they're in danger, you can come and get them. If something, they can hit an SOS signal if they're being attacked. You don't have to wait for the police to show up. You get an SOS from your partner. You can go straight to that GPS signal faster than police can get there, because law enforcement, at least in the United States, is between 10 minutes and 45 minutes in good days. 2.5 minutes in a crime-ridden neighborhood, but in 30 seconds, you can get beat to death. So if it takes 2.5 minutes for them to show up, the situation resolved itself, or at least reached a stalemate if they're still swearing to God they're going to hit each other, but nobody actually hit each other. But if somebody really wanted to hurt you, they could do massive, devastating damage to you inside of 3.5 minutes. Look at a prize fight. Boxing, UFC, aren't those 3 to 5 minute bouts? Those people can beat each other to death in 3 to 5 minutes, and that is the response time of police. So, and sometimes longer than that. So, if I'm your partner and I could get there faster, if I know where you are, I might even hover in the vicinity so that it takes me less time to get there. I might find something to do in the neighborhood, so I'm around the corner. But when you call me and tell me come help you, I should be there. That's what the GPS signal is supposed to be for. That ain't what it's used for. The other half of what it's used for is if you're the guy that's going to work, you're going to put in long hours, you're going to make that extra money, you're going to bring it back, you're going to take care of your girl. If you had the type of girl that was a cheater, she would use the identity, or not identity, but the preciseness of your GPS signal to know exactly how much time that she has left to cheat on you and not get caught. So you leave, you go to work, you got a 10-hour day. You're going to be at work for 10 hours. You can have somebody over for 5 hours. She checks the GPS signal. She knows that you're still at work. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's crazy. And these are the things that we have to recognize, that while there are downsides to relationships where cheaters are just cheaters because they're perceivably the scum of the earth, these cheaters can be motivated by so many different things. Just like Red Void said earlier today on a show, innocently, he had that attraction to two different people. He had two different types of attraction for two different types of people, because neither one of them had everything he was looking for. That's like foundational. Doesn't make you a terrible person, but going forward, you're going to make sure that she not only looks good, but has a great personality. Because if she doesn't, you have to rethink your position, because you don't want to be in that position where you're deciding or contemplating on cheating on your partner with somebody else. I've had the same experience. I had an affair with somebody before. And then after me and the person that I cheated on broke up, she slept with one of my homeboys. And then she fell off something and broke her leg. So when I met her, when I was dating her, she was in one piece. And after my homeboy finished turning around, she had a broken leg. And I'm looking at her like, she should have stayed with me. Regardless of my flaws, she should have stayed with me. I would have took care of you. You wouldn't have had a broken leg if you'd have been with me. That's how it is. She wanted to get back together. I'm like, nah, I don't share females with my homies. So even though I had you first because he had you, I don't want you no more. You damaged goods. You're like a wrecked car on a new car lot. I'm not gonna. And your leg is broke. I'm not gonna. She got a knee brace on like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm not. No, you straight. You straight. Whatever altercation you and him had to cause for your leg to get fucked up, nah, that's good. You keep that chaos over there with him. So these are the things, and then the other half of cheating, and you're gonna experience this in marriage too. Revenge cheating. Because they caught you cheating on them, or they thought you were cheating on them, they start cheating on you in return. I said this earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. The revenge cheating in the marriage, where you get a pass because you caught your spouse cheating on you. So now if you cheat on them, you get a freebie. They can't get mad at you because they're a cheater too. And some people actually take it upon themselves to exercise that pass. I've seen on social media where people are asking, oh, well, if your partner gave you a guilt-free pass, is there somebody that you would cheat on them with? There's no such thing as a guilt-free pass, because guilt-free pass means that I don't feel guilty about what I did. Whether or not you gave a shit about what I did doesn't matter. A guilt-free pass means that I don't feel bad about what I did. So, is there somebody that I would have an affair with over the girlfriend that I'm dating, and I not feel bad about that? The answer should be no. But most people that are asked this question will say, oh yeah, some celebrity, some famous person, some not easily accessible, some ironically more accessible than you think. And that free pass scenario, that's the reason why Usher's sleeping with everybody's girlfriend backstage. Drake is sleeping with everybody's girlfriend backstage. That's the reason why. That's the reason why R. Kelly was sleeping with everybody and their teenage daughters backstage. Because of that free pass mentality that, oh, it's a celebrity, it's a one-off kind of thing. But when ladies are chasing that top 1%, that is not a one-off for the top 1%. That's every day in their life. That's a one-off for us mediocre guys, for us average guys. That's a one-off. Like me having an engagement with like Nicki Minaj or Beyonce, that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience kind of thing for an average Joe like me. But Nicki Minaj having the average man 100 times, like Lil Kim getting in a Guinness Book of Records for servicing 100 men in a row, and then having to get her stomach pumped because apparently she doesn't spit. Yeah, no man can say that 100 women voluntarily had an affair with him at the same time, just lined up and waited for it. No man can say that. But we've got a woman that can say that. Multiple women can say that. That at least 5 guys, 3 guys, some situations, especially porn stars, 8 to 10 guys, all lined up and wait. But you're not going to get that from men. You're not going to have 10 girls lining up saying, oh, I want a piece of that. So the mentalities are different. And that's one of the things that we have to understand. It's one of the things that we have to recognize. So when it comes to the self-esteem of cheaters, it can be overly inflated. It can be understimulated. And that overinflation can have a false sense of ego, a false sense of entitlement that leads to bad choices. It could be underdeveloped, and the lack of validation and the lack of confidence in oneself could lead them to strive for recognition somewhere else, which would give them the validation that they're not getting out of their relationship. And then there is the absentness of completion feeling from their partner that can drive them towards yearning for and then seeking out that completion from a different partner. Some of these things sound similar, but they are very different. And the idea of it is to stop and think, if you're not the person that's cheating, because if you are the person that's cheating, you have to recognize, why are you cheating? What motivated you to do it? Was it them or was it you? Was it how they didn't make you feel, how they made you feel, or how you felt on your own, unprovoked by their actions or lack of action? But if you're the one being cheated on, you have to contemplate, and you have to think to yourself, and this isn't a playing the victim scenario. This is self-analyzation. What did you do or what did you not do that could have impacted the decision-making process that led to the cheater cheating? What did you do or what did you not do that led to the decision-making process of the person that cheated? Because if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, that's a factor. And if you did what you wasn't supposed to do, that's another factor. And while it doesn't justify why they cheated, if you learn from the errors of your ways, you can prevent getting cheated on again. Likewise, I've asked one of the ladies on the show, one of the ladies, especially one of the fans that commented on us, I asked, how did I word it? I said, yeah, somebody who cheats on you once, it's a one-off. It's not a regular occurrence. But if you've been cheated on 5 times in your life, if you've had 10 bad relationships, how can you say that all of them are not your fault? The common factor in all 5 or 10 of those engagements was you and your decision-making process. So first-person accountability would require you to recognize that the common factor in your failed relationships are you and your decision-making process. Because each one of your failed relationships did not have the same person. Each one of your failed relationships just had you and somebody new. And if they all fail for the same reasons, when you're doing self-realization, is needed, is mandatory. And that's something that also hasn't been considered. And I'm going to say that again just to make sure, because I know I've seen us just freezing up for a second there. I was saying that when you're analyzing a situation, if there was one-off, it's not an issue. But if it's 5 or 10 of them, there is a common issue. And that common issue is you and your decision-making process. And you need to analyze, because it doesn't justify what happened. You need to analyze whether you're doing what you're not supposed to do or not doing what you're supposed to do. And you're going to learn these things so that you can fix it for the next generation, for your next relationship. You're not doing this so that you can go back to the person that's cheating on you. But you have to recognize that first-person accountability is that if you have had 5 bad relationships or 10 bad relationships in your life, and regardless of what reasons why they ended, they all had the same common factor, that you were involved in the choice process of people who cheated on you. Now, either that could be your taste in men is the kind of men that also have the behavior patterns to cheat, or you didn't meet their criteria in some way, shape, or form, and they cheated, or you were just attracted to guys who are playing the field. There are some situations where your partner just wants to get laid, and they call you their girlfriend or their boyfriend just so that they can validate the fact that you're a residual fuck buddy. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the adult industry. It just means that since your attention to this person is going to be based on sexual encounters, you're not really developing a foundation for one another that actually makes sense. So with that being said, I do have to wrap things up for today. So I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and Red Void, especially you. I also got to put your YouTube profile up here on our high list, because you are definitely on both sides of the show. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank you guys for coming in on TikTok. I want to thank everybody that came in on Twitch. I want to thank everybody that's still coming in on YouTube, because you guys are very valuable to us. You're making us better, making us great. Red Void, I encourage you to try to pick something up, like a little $7 to $10 pendant, or a little this and that sticker, or something like that. Get a throw pillow. I love throw pillows. You get a throw pillow because you can throw pillows at her and not get a domestic violence charge. Or get a this and that towel whipping, but those can leave a mark. Either way, show her that you love her and rep the show. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we have a live podcast every night of the week, 7 days a week. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. Members only show is going to be on Saturday. Today's Friday night. So in 2 days, we're going to have a members only show. So I want you guys to stay tuned to everything that we got going on. And we've got some very nifty things that's going to be talked about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So I want you guys to tune in. And yeah, I'm going to let you guys go on TikTok first. Ladies, as long as it doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So ladies, make it make sense. And for the rest of you guys on YouTube and Twitter, again, I want to say thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate the thousands of fans that's been flowing in over the past couple of weeks, which is a high point for us. So we've covered some leaps and bounds with our algorithm, but I just want you guys to know that, yeah, if you've got a topic that you want us to discuss, if you've got any issues that you want us to cover, by all means, you can either bring it to the show, throw it into the comments section, or if you join our membership, you can get in there and leave some information into our community chat, and then I'll get it and either reply to you directly or make a show out of it. Either way it goes, we're going to address everybody's issues and concerns. So one last time, I appreciate you guys for coming on YouTube and Twitch, and you guys are going to have a good day. I am your host, Xander, with This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.